visible?
Shobit, do you think there's some network problem at Nikun's end, or only I am facing it?
Um, wait, I, yeah, there is a network error problem at the Nikon's end. Because resolution
So
is
Nikun,
too
can you
bad.
just quickly check once, because there's a lot of lag and the voice is breaking.
My- Can you hear me? So is there also some sort of voice issue or
I
interruptions in here?
like I hear your voice clearly, but the screen share that I'm seeing is a very low resolution. Contrast to the Manisha's screen, which I'm seeing in a very high resolution. So I guess the network is low, so Google Hangout is optimizing the video stream to a lower
Yeah,
threshold.
just a minute.
But for me, even the voice is breaking. So I mean, if you are able to hear me clearly, then that should not be a problem.
Manisha, does it, like my audio is coming fine to you?
Yeah, your audio is very clear.
Okay.
I'm just not able to hear Nikunj properly. And I'm assuming you are able to hear me clearly.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, let me try it again. Is it visible now?
Yes, it is visible.
It is visible, just as I've been saying, yeah, it is much better resolution. So I think the network has improved on your end somehow.
Okay. All right, so we are live. So let me start. So thanks everyone for joining us today at TechHunt. This is our event. The idea of the event is to connect 500 most promising techies who are working somewhere and they know they are good. They are proud of their tech abilities, and we want them to quite easily reach out and get spotted by 50 plus best companies that we have put together today in just one day. So that's the whole idea of Tech Hunt. And before we start, a bit of introduction about CutShort, because a lot of you would be here for the first time. So CutShort is a new age professional network where we connect you with the people or the right professionals that you want to connect with. Uh, this event is just one example. We do it at events. We do it in communities. We have communities for different startups, topics and tech topics, and people learn and share with each other in those communities. And we also have a very thriving hiring platform where we have more than 2,000 companies, like all the funded startups, as well as lots of bootstrap and other startups as well on our platform. Now coming back to this event, why is this event? So this is, I'm just quoting an example of how uh, users on our platform look to companies. So when people at recruiting at their companies, they come to CutShort and we match them with with our users who look to be who fit their needs. This is how we show them show those users to these companies or people hiring at these companies. If you look at it, a typical recruiter eye, the way recruiter eye works, it that we look at your information like where you are currently working, where did you go for studies. Then we look at your skill set, and this is a skill set that you have input, so we have no idea how strong are you with those at those skills. And then we see a bit about your comment that whatever you have written, uh, some people don't take a lot of time to write there, some people don't even write very well. So this is how a recruiter eye works. If you look at it, it's completely biased, because we are looking at your brand names, we're looking at your skills that you have entered, we are not sure what you actually know, and then we are just looking at your writing skills to judge how good a techie you are. So let's make it better, and that's the idea of behind Tech Hunt today. Uh, as I said, people look at social profiles, LinkedIn, GitHub. That's all we do today. We look at your institute, we look at your current company, we look at your other, other indicators of success. But this is not ideal, at least for a tech crowd or tech talent. And hence we want to also enable additional checks or additional evaluation where true techies or passionate techies are able to differentiate themselves from the crowd. And how do we do that? So will continue to show your profiles, LinkedIn, GitHub. People can look at your street on GitHub. People can look at your projects on LinkedIn. Uh, but we want to complement that information with a test on your logical abilities, so people can see how good you can think about programming or how you can think about solving problems, and how you can. And third is your understanding about a skill area. So if you are an AngularJS developer, do you know AngularJS? Have you actually worked in AngularJS as compared to just knowing the basic theory about AngularJS? So that is the idea, and this event is the first time we are adding these two dimensions to our platform. Uh, Based on this feedback, we will roll it out on the platform on our main platform as well. Today about the event, we have 500 plus signups we crossed in the morning. So I'm not sure what is the current count, but we have more than 500 people. Apparently, all of them are techies, and they are in 1 to 8 year experience range mostly. They are passionate, that's why they're here, and they're open to new challenges at startups and other product companies. And they are, we have given them a tech quiz on a language or a skill set, and we have also given them a programming test. And companies that are participating today, they will be able to see these scores and reach out to you. And 50 plus companies are hiring. Some of them are mentioned here. Many more are not mentioned here, but they are pretty exciting places to work for as well. We also have two informative talks. These are our speakers. So Manisha Raisinghani is a co-founder and CTO at Loginext, and Shobhit is a co-founder at Adoro. Exciting companies, both very different from each other, but they are similar that they are rethinking the current technology to build a solution for the future. So we would love to hear from them, what are they working on and what is their view of the future as far as the tech stack is concerned at their companies. At this event, this is a note for recruiters. So you will see profiles like this of the people, the professionals who are participating. You will be able to see a check mark, which is, let's say for that skill, a PHP skill in this example, or HTML, CSS, the person has taken a test and the person has passed that test. And we have set the cutoff by looking at the relative data. And anybody who has passed the quiz on that skill, you will see in green, and you will also see a box which says this person has also passed the programming test. So when you see this, the person has cleared the cutoff for the programming test as well. So that's how, for the techies here, this is how you're going to look to the recruiters of the companies, and to the companies here, this is how you can identify or shortlist the people participating in the event today. This is a brief event schedule for today. We've started at 2. We'll have 2 speakers, so I think the order is slightly jumbled up here. So Manisha will be the first speaker and Shobhit will follow up next. After this event, you will be able to so after this tech talk, you will be able to continue connecting with each other, with the companies or with the candidates, all through the night. So it's like we'll stop at 11:45 tonight, and you will not be able to reach out to new people at that time, but you will still be able to access your data, your messages from the event in the days to come. And that is it. That's all I had to explain. So we really hope that you find this event useful. We have put in quite a bit of hard work in the last 7 days. Definitely some of you actually face some issues. So we apologize for that, but we hope that you are here and you will be able to make use of CutShort to become more successful professionally. And you can continue to interact and connect on CutShort channels. Channels is a community of people, passionate product people across the globe who can discuss and learn and share with each other. So that is it. With that, I will hand it over and invite Manisha from Loginext to come in, introduce herself a bit, and then start the TED Talk. If you guys have any questions, please use the chat window on the event page. So there is a broadcast chat window. Any questions for Manisha or Shobit, please write those questions there, and we will pick up those questions and pose these questions to these two speakers. Manisha?
Thank you so much, Nikunj, for such an awesome introduction. Hello, everyone. Hope you guys are doing well and not sleeping after the lunch break. So to quickly introduce myself, I am one of the co-founders and I lead the product and technology at Loginext. So you will be able to see my email ID even after the talk. If you have any questions, if you would like to connect, if you would like to work with us, it would be great if you can either apply on CutShorts or you can send us an email for any further discussions. So what is Loginext? What Loginext is? Basically, a small introduction about us is we are the #1 company in SaaS as from logistics and field service optimization point of view. So there are very few companies in India who are on SaaS models, especially for enterprises. We are present in and we are catering to 150 plus clients. We have a team of 100 team members now, including technology, business development, HR, and other functions. And we have raised funds from Paytm and Indian Angel Network. So, not talking more about the company, I would like to directly jump to our story of scalability. So, it was 3 years back when we started. Dhruval and myself, Dhruval is the other co-founder. Dhruval and myself, we started with the first line of the code. I still remember it was in my apartment in Mulund wherein we actually started coding, and as you know, any other, I would say, founders or any other product, we started with the monolithic architecture. So these are the 4 areas that I would like to talk about today on scalability, starting with architecture, infrastructure, usability, and mobile. So let's jump to the architecture part first. So when we first wrote our code, the product was completely monolithic. And as and when we kept on increasing our products, kept on increasing the user base, the clientele, the segments that we are serving, it became really very difficult to maintain the monolithic code because there were different teams working on it. There was a backend team, there was a data sciences team, there was a front end team, and the code had become like really messy. So just it's around 18 months back, we decided, okay, we need a revamp because the kind of traction that we had seen from clients and investors, abroad, it was a great traction, which was like the transactions on our platform was increasing exponentially. So it called for a product revamp. And that's when we thought to move to microservices because we had very logical separation between different modules. You can see a lot of modules here. We will not go into more details of each and every module, but the most important thing that we have in our system is location data. Because what Loginext does is we optimize everything that moves. So be it people, be it vehicle, be it delivery boys, whoever is on feet, whoever is moving on the road, we optimize that. So optimization is one thing, and the second is location analytics. We collect a lot of data from on the field using different sensors, GPS trackers. Then we have apps for delivery boys, apps for sales representatives. Using this, we collect data in real time and a lot of location data. So we had to scale from 1 million data points to 500 million data points in terms of location data. Earlier, we were totally on MySQL. Even the location data was on MySQL. So there was a challenge. Okay, we are moving from 1 million to 500 million. The data structure keeps on changing because some sensors send only lat long, some sensors send temperature data, speed data, odometer data. So how do we actually keep up with ever changing data structure? And that's the reason we introduced MongoDB, which is a NoSQL schema-less database, wherein it was really easy to store the GeoJSON objects. Now the challenge here was moving all the data from MySQL to MongoDB and indexing the data accordingly. Because with such huge data sets, indexing plays a very important role. So that was one of the biggest challenges that we faced in moving the data. And of course, testing was something which was like thoroughly and badly needed for every feature in every module that we had built. So you can refer to one of my articles on LinkedIn, which is Monolithic to Microservices, on how we scaled the architecture to get more details and more challenges and more learnings in the process. Moving on to the next one was infrastructure. So we have microservices. Well, out of one service now we have 13 services, which is great. But how do you make sure that your services are discovered by your app? Because you have one app layer, all the traffic hits a single controller or a single app layer. You have to make sure either you do load balancing or you have a service discovery platform. So in our case, we have used Eureka. And the best part is this service discovery platform was built by our awesome tech team in just 24 hours hackathon. So we keep on, keeping these events wherein we encourage innovation, encourage something which is built outside the product, but of course adds business value and can be gelled along with the product. So that is one change that we did in an infrastructure. The second was a very interesting use case. So initially, when we had orders coming in, we have a route planning engine wherein we use traveling salesman approach to find how many orders should be given to one delivery boy and what is the route that the delivery boy should follow, what will be the ETA of the end consumers, taking into consideration traffic data, weather data, capacity of the vehicle, location of the customer, preferences of the customer, area preferences of the delivery boy. Taking into hundreds of parameters, we form a route for the delivery boy, which he can see directly on his mobile phone, and they can just start delivering the orders. So the route planning engine it actually uses a heuristics approach, and there are like a lot of permutations and combinations which you need to try to make sure you get the optimum route, wherein we optimize the distance, we optimize the time, and ultimately we optimize the resources and help companies save cost. So initially 100 orders used to take say 2 minutes to run, but then you were like, if we are scaling, if a company like DMart, Flipkart, they have like millions of shipments every day. So if we are running the planning for millions of orders, you cannot just keep on spending hours and hours on that. Plus you cannot block your current system, because there are certain algorithms which are running on one services. So you have to make sure that we are doing load balancing so that operations of one company or usage of one client does not impact the usage of another client. So this is the biggest challenge for product companies, I would say, because there is one code base. For multi-tenant system, you have to make sure that scale of one companies should not impact the operations of another companies. What we did is, depending on the number of orders that the companies are processing, we have built a rule engine. Now what this rule engine does is, it automatically uses service discovery and calls the AWS APIs to spawn a new instance only to run the algorithm, because it is computationally super extensive. So we need to make sure that it is run on a, maybe not on a 4-core but a 8-core hardware. So that is the second thing that we did in infrastructure for scalability. So the most important things that we had was microservices architecture and use of service discovery. The third point was usability. So being a SaaS company, being a B2B company, it's not always good to be minimalistic, is what we realize. Minimalistic, yeah, it sounds very cool, but that's the concept which is used mainly for B2C companies. The kind of audience that we have varies from executives to operations manager to delivery boys. So we had to make sure that the UI looks in such a way that it's easier to be used by all the audiences. So the kind of approach that we took is every enterprise has their own needs. They have, अगर किसी को 10 columns देखने हैं तो और किसी को 5 columns देखने होंगे. They'll be like, boss, this is not something that I want to see. And then they start hating the product because they are seeing extra things. So we moved our UI UX to a completely dynamic templates. So right, starting from tables to forms to validations, everything is dynamic for our clients. Everything is configurable and everything is on basis of the enterprise needs, because we don't only cater to one segment, we cater to 10 segments. Including the labels, because once you go global, you have to make sure you support different languages as well. So we are a truly global SaaS platform for logistics and field force optimization in that sense. And all these JSONs, again, we were like, okay, these are the JSONs, so we cannot store in MySQL or we cannot store in a SQL database. You can, but is it the best? Is it the best data source for this kind of usability? So because we were already using MongoDB, we decided JSONs. MongoDB is the best database at this point to store JSONs, because you don't want to really introduce a lot of technologies at hand, because skill development also takes some time for your existing team. So yes, Cassandra would have been a better option for us, but looking at the number of technologies to use in the tech stack, we went for MongoDB. So that is about usability. And we are very particular about the colors that we use. Now, one example is delivery boys are using the app in sunlight all the time. They are on the field. So the kind of colors they see, we have to make sure that, because of the sun reflection, if it's a darker color, and because of the reflection of the light, they were not able to read the text properly. So we had to change a certain things, taking into account that the app is used by field representatives. So that was about usability and mobile. One more thing in mobile is really very critical to us is the support for 2G. So initially the way we built our app was on 3G, and it was a very funny incident. So the first time when we released the app, we were like, okay, will the delivery boys be able to use the app? Are they skilled enough to use the smartphone? And to our surprise, after one day, the app stopped working. So we were like, ऐसा क्या हो गया कि app बंद हो गया? Testing तो बराबर की थी and it was working fine. And when we actually digged deep into it, ये लोगों ने डिलीवरी बॉयज को मोबाइल दिया था, 3G दिया था, and they started using YouTube, WhatsApp and Facebook left and right, and the entire data, 1 GB data got exhausted in one day. We were like, wow, what is this? Like, we were thinking ये लोग use कर पाएंगे कि नहीं, and they have gone over the board and used the data completely. So these were the few learnings we had in the early days. So we have MDM capabilities as well. The mobile for the delivery boys is completely locked, and they can use, so basically it's called a kiosk mode, which Ola and Uber used to do as well when they used to give their own phones. And if the company is providing the mobile to the delivery boys, they use it in the kiosk mode, wherein they can only use the Loginext app. So there are a lot of learnings we gained, because it is a new product. It is, nobody is doing it, especially in India. Nobody is doing this. So there were a lot of new learnings, a lot of infrastructure challenges. 2G was not available somewhere 3G was not available. So we have supported the offline mode in mobile as well. All the data gets saved in the mobile, and whenever the network comes, the data is sent to the servers. So because of the offline mode as well, there were a lot of cases where we found that location data was inaccurate. Now, once your location data is inaccurate, if the tracking is like zigzag, then even the kilometer reading would not be good. The distance calculation will not be fine. So we have used a lot of cleansing mechanisms using data mining and data cleansing, which makes sure that the distances are very close to the actual odometer readings. So these were the 4 areas that we majorly, targeted to start with. I think we are out of time, and I would just take 2 minutes to wrap up everything, and then we'll open it up for question and answers. So these are the few industries that we are covering currently. So we had to make sure that the white labeling, the customization, the dynamic forms, everything is in sync with these industries. And the scale at which these industries work is huge, be it retail and FMCG or e-commerce or pharma, wherein medical representatives go to doctors and they do the visits. We plan the routes for them, which doctors should they visit according to the availability of the doctors and so on. So these were the few use cases, a few, tech hacks that we applied at Loginext, and we were able to scale from 1 million to 500 million data points. That's it. Thank you so much. I'm open for questions.
Thanks, Manisha, for a great talk. Definitely a lot of interesting insights you guys got. Get into multiple kinds of offers, different kinds of users, and especially in global settings. So great journey there. One question, Manisha, which has come up. I'm getting an echo from somewhere. Anyway, Manisha, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
So one question, because of the perception of yours is like a tech visionary sort of. So question is, how many jobs are going to lost?
So your voice is breaking, Nikunj.
Actually, I'm getting an echo back also.
Do you want to type the question in the chat window?
I have already typed it.
Okay, let me. Sure. So regarding AI and automation and IoT, of course, these are the 2 areas that we very closely focus on, because when we talk about sensors for collecting data, it is nothing but beginning of IoT. Internet of Things is nothing but, a lot of sensors may be talking to each other. So what we want is packages talking to each other, and using the artificial intelligence by putting the behavior of the delivery boy back to our planning engine. We can optimize the routes and plan better routes for the delivery boys. Regarding the jobs that are going away, I think these kind of things should always be automated, and humanity can go back to innovation and recreation for what we are actually meant for.
Yeah, so let me just add there. I don't know why I'm getting an echo. But automation and AI is not a challenge, it is an opportunity for you to move from manual tasks to something which is more innovative and more valuable.
Absolutely.
So it's not like job loss, it is like migration of your skills.
Exactly,
It's
because
migration. Yeah, go ahead.
exactly. So if you see, even a lot of universities, they have been changing their courses from the normal programming languages to AI. So it's not that the jobs are going to get cut, but we are going to do better things.
Yep. One question I'm typing there.
Sure. So it's microservices as compared to AWS Lambda. So I'll give you an example where we tried AWS Lambda. So others who don't know what AWS Lambda is, it's basically you just write a piece of code and deploy it on AWS services, and you can only pay for the number of times you're calling that method or the number of seconds that it takes to execute that method. Now, there are certain limitations with AWS Lambda on, as in, what are the kind of computations that you can do. If your algorithms are computationally very intensive, it becomes very challenging and very expensive to use AWS Lambda. That's the reason we took a decision to spun off a new instance rather than using AWS Lambda. But AWS Lambda was actually our first choice because the algorithm that we are running is stateless, and AWS Lambda can only be used for stateless methods.
Okay, and one more question I've typed, perhaps the last one.
Sure. So when should a small team move from monolithic to microservices? It's a very subjective question, but I would, from my experience, whenever your users are getting hampered from efficiency point of view, like if while they're using your product is slow, or they are feeling the outrages, it is impacting their business, that's the right time to change your architecture. Maybe moving from monolithic to microservices is not the only way. First, the best thing is to first optimize your monolithic services. So even in monolithic services, you would be having a lot of queries, right? So optimize your databases first, add indexes, and then the last resolution should be moving the architecture from monolithic to microservices or otherwise.
Yeah, so let me just add to it. It is not a question that you will have to consciously decide about. It will happen and you'll know it. When
Yep.
monolithic will not scale, and then you will be spending more nights to fix the code, and you'll know you need something better.
So microservices is a very enticing word, but trust me, there are a lot of challenges that we face, a lot of challenges that we were not anticipating, wherein we had to introduce one more data store, which is Elasticsearch, for our analytics module. So we can take it offline, and if anyone has any question, we can definitely discuss more about it.
Yep, that's great of you, Manisha. So thanks so much for your time. We will invite Shobit now.
Hi, everyone. Thanks, Vineet, and thanks, Manisha, for a great session. Thanks, Vineet, for organizing this. I hope everyone is able to hear me. Vineet, can you just confirm my voice is audible?
Yes, I am. We can hear you. My name is Nikunj.
Okay, Nikunj. Uh, let
Or else people will get confused here.
Sorry.
No problem.
And is my screen visible?
Not right now. Now it is.
Okay, great.
but it is not in full screen mode as of now.
Yeah, I will just.
Yeah,
So
now it
hi
is.
everyone. Thanks for joining me. So I believe this is a diverse set of audience where, like, based on the questions that I gathered in the previous sessions, there are a lot of enthusiasts about AI. There are a lot of people who are expert in these technologies. A lot of people who are concerned about AI, as from the one of the questions, and a lot of people who are doing excellent research, and definitely we will welcome all of you. And I'm trying to converse a short discussion, so I will keep it short. I will try to wrap up in 15 minutes and try to have last 5 minutes for as much as question and answer sessions as we can have. Now, starting up with, okay, what this session is about. Like, all of us are hearing a lot about AI in recent terms. AI, machine learning, data science, deep learning, everything. Now, idea is to, okay, before I start, I will just give the background I am coming from and how I viewed this field. I graduated in 2009 from BITS Planning from computer science, where I minored in data mining back then, because AI was not something which we were extensively focused on undergraduate back in 2005. Post that, I started my career in SAP labs, work for a few years, creating, essentially focusing on business intelligence tools, as we call it back then. Then started up with a startup called Coney back in US, and I worked out of Valley and London for a couple of years, extensively focusing on the personalization in AI kind of products. And it was in 2014 that I came back to India, and 2015 we started with this company called Adoro, which is focusing on creating AI for the fashion. So I will try to keep very little about Adoro, just 2 minutes, in terms of what we are doing over here, so that you just get a sense of from where I'm coming from, and eventually just I will dive in depth what is the global landscape is. I will focus on this presentation on two things. One is the general AI, then AI for fashion, and third is AI in cars, because that's something which is not we are doing, but something which is something very, very exciting, and something getting the highest amount of investment in this, in terms of the technology in the current space in AI. Now, coming to Adoro, so what we are and what we do, as I said, we create a AI for fashion, which in general sense is a very, very broad term. So there are essentially 6 things that we focuses on in the AI for the fashion. As I said, we started with this company in May 2015, with some of my great co-founders and some of my best brains globally in terms of in this field. And we are focusing on upcoming the fashion trends, and we are partnered with all the major e-commerce providers of India, be it Amazon, Flipkart, Jabong, Snapdeals, and vice versa. Though you keep on hearing a lot of upheavals happening currently in this space, but with this kind of inventory, we are able to get a whole view of data. And more about data, I will delve into more technical aspects of the things. Then we identify the user's personal style taste and identify the user's personal size preferences. And we try to do these things as implicitly as possible. We assist users in identification of what styles will go best with the users, and we try to have a conversations with the users in a natural language. And with all these, we are trying to remove all the language and the users behaviors. As we are talking, like, there are a lot of tier 3, tier 4 kind of users who are just getting started with the mobility, but they are getting lost in terms of how to use it, how to approach it. So we are trying to do away with the concept of entire screen. So the future we see it in the AI, there won't be any UI or the screens. It's a screen less UI. So we don't say ourselves as a mobile first company, we are an AI first company. So today we are present extensively in the mobile networks and chatbots for Messenger and likewise. But what we see is you're running as an Adoro skill on your Alexa chatbots or Google uh, assistants or Apple Siri, and just talking to us your requirement and our application talking back to you. That's the future that we are bracing ourselves for. Now, in terms of the numbers, because that speaks the truth. So just I'm telling you how we have achieved the conversions uptrend, and everywhere you hear the profitability pressure, e-commerce having losses, Snapchat firing a lot of people, and so on. So we see the amount of the conversion that we are seeing in the new users prior to the AI was hardly below 2%. Post we launch AI, we've been seeing the constant uptrend in the number of the conversions that we are getting 7, 8, and 12% in the last month, which essentially increases my revenue by 6 times into the leading Mintras and Flipkarts of the world. And that's the future I'm talking about. That's the AI is through. Another aspect of the AI that we are building heavily is obviously the vision part of the AI, that we auto-identify what kind of the dresses users are uploading onto their platform. Like we have a application called Adoro, which is live on Play Store, which have like a roughly 2 lakh user base right now. And with this user base, we are allowing them a facility to upload their photographs, share with the community, and so on. As they are doing so, we are auto-identifying what they are wearing. And once we identify what they are wearing, it helps in multiple ways that identify users' personal taste, as I mentioned, as well as assisting other users into their styling in terms of what is the uptrend, which will help them and just getting a better style sense. Third thing that we are doing is, as I said, the chatbots. I will just, instead of showcasing here, I will just quickly jump to a demo of it. Sorry, okay, that. So as everybody can see my screen, this is our chatbot. Show me some
This is a phase of video.
So as I see, I was about to type red. It predicted that I'm typing red, and it said me, okay, I want red, but I changed my mind. No, I don't want red. I want a blue dress. And I said, in a while, basically, it's just, you see, this is a very natural conversation. It tries to fetches me brand, and it fetches me the products that I'm trying to buy. And I can just set all my preferences. Let me do the screen size a bit. So it shows me all my preferences in terms of what I'm trying to buy, in terms of budget size and everything. This is a natural conversation. Currently, it's type-based. Very soon, we'll be launching a voice-based version of it through our application, where user can talk to our application and buy what they want. This completely eliminates the technology barrier of using an application. Now, let me just jump back. And I keep on seeing in terms of even the applications we are receiving here at the CutShorts, that people are not very clear in terms of what role they are applying for. People are working in analytics, data science, deep learning, ML, computer vision, and overall AI. So what is what? First of all, analytics has been something which has been old word, as I say, where it was something which was very, very relevant in 2005, 2009 era, when we were applying huge set of the data minings and algorithms to understand what kind of prediction trends are there, analyze user behavior, and form an analysis. Now, the same analytics has been taken over by the data science. So data science is still a, I will say, less of a computer science field, but more of a statistics field, where lot of great engineers are doing a heavy mathematical and analytical processing for commercial purposes, which may be use social media analysis, user behavior analysis, or analysis for the government, such as Plantier is doing, and basically gain insights. These insights, which is gained from the data, is essentially used later on by data learning to power overall the AI system. But before I get into details of the data learning, what is AI? AI has been traditionally started, it's not a new field, it's been around for a decade into mainstream, but a century in the research area. It started from what we essentially say today as a neural networks, which was the understanding of data scientists as well as computer scientists in how our brain works. Our brain works by connections of the neurons, and there is a layer of neurons which connects with another layer of neurons, and data can form in a graphical structure. So once graphical algorithms become mainstream, our neural networks a decade earlier became mainstream. And once they became mainstream, however you call it, we started doing a lot of AI analysis. Initial phase was let me delve into the overall landscape that we have today. This is very vast landscape. So I will just come to specifics in a minute. So as we see, there are various functions that is serving: enterprise intelligence, enterprise functions, automation systems, agents, various industries is targeting, healthcare is targeting, and there is a technology stack powered by, I should say, started from 5 giants, but there are the bunch of the companies who are doing a lot of work, including us today in technology stack. Was in layers in which the companies were forming. The era of creating a new tech stack is over. There have been a tech stacks. There are some clear winners, which I will just talk in my next slide. And what essentially is, we see there are a lot of tech stacks enabled based on what interest that you have, and if you are working with a specific problem in mind, what technology set that you should use is the something which is the importance over here. But before you choose your technology stack, see how others are using it. And that's where the whole landscape comes into the picture. The technology stack that others are using it, like I will be happy to share this whole stack with you. In case anybody have any queries, I will discuss later, and I will share my contact details with everyone, and you can contact me on the CutShort for details on each one of them. I will be just cutting short on right now. So if you are in agriculture based industry, like that is a very crucial problem to be solved. Unfortunately, I'm not the one focusing on today. If you are the one who can focus on, just go and research these companies, what they are doing. And that's how I believe this stack is very useful. If once you research what these companies are doing, some of these companies are doing very crucial work in agriculture. Some of that still need to be brought to India, because yes, we are still a very large agriculture economy. Some of these AIs which you can fit into economy can prevent some of the wastage, like we today waste 60% of our food products in the transportation alone. So as my previous friend was trying to solve lot of things into the transportation and logistics, lot of you will enable another layer of the analytics on the top of it, and a lot of people will create actual AI, and hopefully we will able to solve those problems. Now let me talk more about the technology stack. I will be focusing on few key stack terms, and if any of you are working on any other technical stack, I will be happy to engage in the conversation. So there are my favorites: Spark, TensorFlow, MXNet, Cafe, Deep Learning, and Thanos. There are some others which I recommend everyone to use, such as Keras, which is basically a layer on the top of each of them for other than the TensorFlow is the most recent engine which is in the market, built on Scala, which other than the Julia, which is a sister of Python, is like just like Julia is the sister of Python, Scala is the sister of Java, which most of you are working with. Spark is created completely on Scala, and hence since it is created in a very new age, it is very well optimized. In Adoro, we are very heavily invested in Spark. We are active contributor to Spark OpenStack, as well as we are heavy users of Spark. Other network that we are very heavily using is the TensorFlow, which has been introduced much after actually we have started. So TensorFlow has been in development since decades in Google, but they made it public only in November 2015. But by then we have a lot of our stack already pre-built on Spark, and as well as in deep learning 4J, and we are moving a lot of those stack into the TensorFlow today. MXNet is yet another great library from Apache. It's great because it's being very well adopted by AWS stack. More on that bit later. Cafe has been the most popular library for computer vision, but Cafe is just as fast as deep learning 4J, and deep learning 4J is better choice if you are going with a Scala or Java based APIs. Cafe is better choice if you are going with Python. And if you are in Python world, there is a big fight between TensorFlow and Thino. I believe TensorFlow has won given the momentum it have, but Thino has been around for a much longer time frame. So I believe a lot of you who are researchers in AI would be using Thino. So yes, I will say have a look at TensorFlow if you are not using it yet. Top contributors to this ones are essentially Google, Facebook, Microsoft, Apple, and Nvidia. Google by it TensorFlow, Facebook is pushing it brains behind Thino. Microsoft has started CXNet. They have a great, I should say, chatbot in terms of the Cortana. I see Cortana as the best making the best use of natural language processing. Apple is there, which is contributing everywhere from Cafe to deep learning 4J, and Nvidia is contributing mainly in terms of the GPUs, which is essentially the backbone of whole deep learning framework. So Nvidia is doing a lot of work into cars and everything. So the whole wave of the deep learning has been enabled because of Nvidia, because they have made their GPUs so powerful and so cheap and so cost effective that yes, we can use them today. Other companies I will just like to mention are Adobe Sansui, where one of my colleague Abhay Prances is doing a great work as a CTO and leading a lot of AI based products. So if you have not heard of, they have launched a Photoshop kind of tool for your audio and video processing, where you just have a sample of audio or a video of one person for 1 minute, and they will just extrapolate to any kind of text that you want that person to say in those person's voice and those person's video, mimicking everything. So yes, now you can create videos which were never there, just basis the learning sense will have from the previous networks. So I'm just trying to convert. So I'm just running out of time here as I see. I will just quickly jump to AWS stack. AI on scale, which is a clever topic, because a lot of people will ask, a lot of people, you are indie developers or startups like ours who are doing with we are a bootstrap startup. So definitely we do have a lot of successful ventures in the past in terms of the Coney and Travaliari and so on. And we have a lot of capital within ourselves to invest. But still, so far we are not big enough to build a complete data center in-house. So we are focusing heavily on the AWS stack, which is Apache AX, MXNet, Poly, Lex, as well as you can spin off your own EC2 instances, run as many Spark deep learning 4J or TensorFlow instances as you want. Apache, the AWS stack is providing awesome support for hosting GPUs, which you don't ever have to own. So it's very cost effective. So is GCP, but the problem with the GCP is there are very few managed nodes that they are coming up with. If you are a Mongo fan, go with GCP. If you are a DynamoDB fan, go with AWS. It is also another great tool, and in terms of the pure play data science analytics has been Redshift, which we have been using very powerfully in Adoro, and kudos to AWS stack for creating it. Before I jump to the question answer sessions, I will just give a few takeaways which beginners tends to miss. So if you are already an AI expert, you will know, but there is a crucial difference between analytics, data science, AI, and machine learning. Be aware of it. Don't try to mix each other. But yes, everyone thinks folds into AI. AI is the mother stream. Remember that. Don't torture data, because if you torture data, it will confess to anything you want. But that may not be the right result. All data are not created equal. Data doesn't speak for itself. There are few data speak for itself. More data is good. Try to collect as much data as you can, even if you don't want to use it all of it. If I have all the data among what all my users have, what movies they have watched, what TV episode they have watched, what each friends of their was wearing, what are the malls they have visited, when they have visited, what all dresses they have purchased, I will make much better recommendation. But I don't have to make use of all of it. I am today making use of the effective use of their social media logins, which I am enabling them to use a Facebook login. And once they come, I get to their friend list and what their friend list is interacting with, what are their likes, what are their preferences, what are the photos they have uploaded in the past, and trying to understand what are the dresses they have worn, and understanding their interaction pattern within Adoro as a mobile application to understand what kind of data sets it generate. But we are not making use of all the information in terms of what all movies they have watched just yet. Last point, as I have talked about a lot of tools in a very rapid manner, don't over invest in one tools or one skill. That kills. That is how a startup dies, because they invest in a wrong tool and eventually they dies. But start with one, because as a startup you won't have, till you have some basic models up and running, you won't have energy to experiment on each and every tool. My takeaway will be, go with AWS and start with Spark, if you just have to start with. Now I will be taking questions, and I know it is a very, very wide topic to clear out. I will take a liberty to answer the first question that was asked to my previous colleague, basically asking in terms of what AI will do to the jobs. My honest answer is with the use of explanation of what is happening in the car industry, which I talked about. There are 5 major players in the car industry. I'm not talking about Fiat and Daimlers and BMW or Mercedes-Benz of the world. So in the past, my past company where I was designing the prediction algorithms for Kony, so we have been sold those algorithms to the clients like Mercedes-Benz and Jaguar Land Rovers of the work. So I closely work with their technology teams. I understand their technology teams are not great enough to compete with Googles of the world. That's the reality, let's accept it. So what is happening today, Google, Apple, Tesla, Uber, and Nvidia. These are the 5 companies who are investing in these technologies. They will build a world but they are not there yet. Contradictory to the market perception, even if few cars are running on the highway, they are mostly running on the cruise. They are replacing cruise control mode. So even 5 years back, when I was driving cars on the interstates and the highways in the US, highways obviously switch on to cruise control mode, which was very basic, which will keep on my basic speed at par, and I don't have to keep my leg on accelerator at all. I will just focus on the brakes if required to be and keep on driving. So that was a scenario 5 years back. There has been a bit of advancement in terms of the parking and assistance and preventing braking in terms of the popular videos of the Tesla you have seen. But still we are not there yet that a car can drive in the New York or LA crowded traffic or hell of Mumbai traffic, for example. And we are still very far away from a tier 3 kind of a traffic driving where a motorcycle or a car can drive. But it will happen. And moment that happen, it is still 10 to 15 years away. With the advancement in the reinforcement learning, we will be there. But when that happen, all of the Uber and Ola drivers will be jobless. And that's the reality. We need to wake up that yes, AI will happen, and once AI happens, they will drive out all of the manual redundant labor out of the market. And that is the biggest concerns of the AI researchers like us, of what will happen to countries like India, where labor is still unskilled. And these unskilled labor will definitely won't have any job at all once our AI is through. But I am trying to visualize, like, we cannot fight with the AI today. We can win if we are on the side of it, AI. And I believe India has the technology potential to win on the side of AI, because we can be the one who brings AI. And if we brings AI, just like 30 years back, people were canvassing against computers, that computers will come and take away our jobs. Yes, they have taken away a lot of jobs. Like I have seen very closely, because my especially in the banking industry 20 years back, how computers have cut down the jobs. But question is, have India as a country lost the job because of computer? No, we have gained jobs because of computer, because we have gained the technological amplitude and the English skills at that point in time. That was a skill to work in the computer revolution, and we have gained it. In today, if we gain on our mathematical skills, if we gain on our statistical skills, and we gain our algorithm skills, yes, we can be the country can be the one who brings in, ushers in the AI. Because automation is real. Once automation is through, it will take away every job. And last to quote, as my father used to say 30 years earlier, once technology is through in a bank, only two people will be working: a guard to and a dog to guard that a guard is not doing anything else, and guard to guard that a dog is not doing anything else, and that be enough. Rest everything will be computers. There will be automation voice based systems, as I tried to show in terms of the Amy earlier, which will talk to people and tell what they want, and every process and transaction happening via robots. That's the future. I will be open the questions now.
So yeah, so thanks, Shobit. There is a question which I've already written on the chat window, uh, which is the best framework or service to chatbot backend.
Uh, okay, so this is a chat specifically for the chatbots. There are three great frameworks: Poly plus Lex from AWS, Bit.ai from Facebook, API.ai from Google. So like when we were using API, it was not part of the Google. Google recently bought it. We were happy about it. Now Poly and Lex is very, very powerful because it allows you a natural language conversation into each and every locale. We will be using Poly because if you have to converse with an Indian audience versus a French audience, you need to speak on their dialect. The dialect of the Sri or the Google Maps doesn't work with tier 3 cities users, where their dialect of even the proper English is very different, and that dialect won't work. So Poly is a plus Lex is a very strong recommended from me, and so are API.ai and Bit.ai. Now coming about TensorFlow, you don't really need a TensorFlow right now just to create a chatbot. You for silly chatbot, what you need is a lambda functions, where we are able to express natural language processing in terms of the lambda functions, and it's not doesn't require a very powerful neural network to begin with. But yes, go for TensorFlow if you are creating a neural network based chatbot, which will be requirement in not in terms of how we use chatbot today. It's not in terms of powering the natural language processing. We are using TensorFlow and the Spark in terms of what products we show you. When you have typed, you should show me, because I cannot show you thousands of the products. I have a biggest fashion inventory in the world of 30 million fashion products. When you ask me, I want a blue dress, I cannot show you millions of the products. I have to show you very specific ones. Now, basis your Facebook profile, I have gathered some data, and with the data, I will respond to you with basis the recommendation. And that's where the TensorFlows and the Spark comes in terms of the neural networks, and that's where you have to use them. Does that answer your question? Nikunj, you can unmute. I am on the headphone, so there won't be any echo.
Okay, so perhaps yeah, that was a good answer. It answers the question. Perhaps the last question, since we are running out of time, is: do you think deep learning will overtake AI, as deep learning has many powerful libraries like TensorFlow, which learn pretty much automatically?
And I will go back to my slide at this question, because unfortunately in this limited time I was not able to cover in details the difference between AI learning and machine learning. If you are asking deep learning will take over AI, that's a wrong question. Sorry for the lack of better words. Deep learning is the essential powerhouse of the AI. Deep learning is essentially leveraging GPU's power to do heavy machine learning on image processing, text analysis, or any other kind of machine learning task. That's essentially is deep learning. It's just an extension of machine learning with a very heavy processing. And yes, that's a core component of the AI. So deep learning won't overtake AI. Deep learning is a part of AI.
Okay. So that answered the question. But I think, yeah, as I said, there are so many buzzwords that it becomes difficult for people to really understand what's what and what is not and stuff like that. So I think though the time here was too short to discuss that. Understanding that, guys who are interested in exploring AI and data science and machine learning further and want to interact with each other, we have created a channel for you to join, and we will invite Shobhit also to join the channel and interact with you. You can write questions there, and then Shobhit can answer those questions there, and then we can invite more people, more experts like Shobhit onto the channels as well.
And it was a pleasure talking to everyone, and thanks CutShort for organizing this and running this at such a smooth pace.
Yeah,
Today's
thanks so
project.
much everyone for joining. Thanks Shobhit and thanks Manisha for joining us today. Again, this is just a start. So in terms of your expectations at the event, a lot of you would have got some responses from employers who would have looked at your profiles. If you have not taken the test, you can still take the test. We have extended the deadline for that. So as you start taking tests, the results will be available to the recruiters or the companies who are hiring today. If you are not getting too many responses, you can also reach out to companies. Their jobs are listed there. You can see at the event. You can also join the main platform. You are right now in the context of the event. So if you just create a short profile card on main CutShort, you will again be able to reach out to all 2,000 companies that are not participating today, but they are available on CutShort. They are also hiring. So you can check out their jobs and reach out to them. In the end, we will also be, we did not get a lot of time to support you guys in last 24 hours. You were running into some issues. Some things were not clear and stuff like that. So now, since the hangout and everything is over, we will spend more time with you guys and work on your technical evaluation and everything else if you guys need a help. Uh, if you're not getting too many responses and stuff, we will still be, whatever effort you have spent on the test, that will still be usable. We will still use that to connect you with more and more companies going forward. So that is one thing that we are going to do definitely. And in the end, we are also hiring at CutShort. If you like what we are doing here and you would like to join our team, we truly have plans of like some of the things that Shobhit is working on. We're also working on a personal assistant, which is AI based bot, which will go and push the envelope further and really make CutShort much more futuristic, much more powerful in what it can do. We have all sorts of openings in tech as well as in marketing and design. So any of you have any references or you want to talk to us, feel free to reach us. And same goes with Shobit also. He's also looking for some smart people in the tech space to join his team. Feel free to reach out to him as well. So thank you everyone. And as I said, this is just a start. So let's collaborate and let's continue to work with each other. We are also circulating a feedback form shortly, so please give us feedback. We have already got some feedback from you guys, but we would love to see how further we can improve. We'll also the feedback form also will have a section for the talks, so please help Shobhit improve and suggest what you liked, what you could have been better for the speakers who were Shobhit and Manisha, who were kind enough to join us today. Thanks everyone again, and I look forward to be in touch with you.
Thank you.